Hello, you're welcome to News Echoes on Nigerian Affairs. I'm so glad you're watching. We have so many great news for you today. How about the Brics meeting in South Africa? How about Alison-Madueke charge in London court? Oh, so many things to discuss, but not me alone. I have all the way from Toronto in Canada, our man just back from Warsaw. Sir George, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Johnson, and good morning, viewers from around the world. Welcome to our show today.
From the commercial city of Nigeria, Lagos, is our sister Bidi Nana. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shegu. Thanks for having me once again. Our viewers all around the world, thanks for joining us again. Let's do it like always.
And in sizzling and very hot Italy is Massive Mark in Milan. Mark, you're welcome to the program. Mark, we can't hear you. We're trying to link up with Mark there, if he can hear us. Yes, now we have from Moscow, Russia, Dr. Godwin Ibe. Dr. Ibe, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Am I audible?
Very, very audible. And you look very handsome as well.
Mark will be joining us soon. Some technical issues back end.
Yes, I understand that country is boiling. London is not far from it today either, with some high 20-something degrees. George, how is Canada? Is it boiling?
Canada is fantastic. I came back. I was welcomed with a fantastic weather, and it's been awesome in this place.
Okay. Bidi, we don't need to ask you the temperature in Lagos, do we?
No, our temperature is good. We're okay. We don't have issue with the temperature. You know, Nigerians are blessed with temperature.
Yeah, okay then.
Just that it's money we don't have.
Okay, we understand that Brics are meeting in South Africa, and that is the greatest news all over the world. The Western world is watching more importantly than any other person, because there is going to be a challenge to the status quo. Now, many of us recall that Brics mean the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now they have 40 developing nations with them, all begging to join Brics. Let me first of all give this story to Dr. Ibe. Maybe you know more that is happening there than me.
Well, I think the news surrounding Bric is pretty much popular at this point, so you may even know more than me. But I can give you some tidbits about what the latest updates from the meeting and how we perceive it over here. First of all, we understand that Brics is pushing for multipolarity. Its GDP in terms of purchasing power parity has surpassed the G7. In terms of population, they control 50% of the world population. And their growth rate is much faster than the alternative. Now, coming to the people that want to join, it's over 40. I think those are the ones that have been confirmed, but the members haven't shown one voice in terms of the approval of everybody. As you understand, it's not just for any Tom, Dick, and Harry. There has to be approval by all 5 members, and they have to see that the foreign policy of the country aligns with the goals of Brics, which is as against IMF, providing loans specifically for developing country, promoting national trade in national currencies, and pushing towards multipolarity. Some see it as alternative to the West, while others see it as push for multipolarity. You can be on either side on that, but it's a push mostly for multipolarity. Now, about updates.
Is Nigeria part of the ones wanting to join?
Yes, of course, Nigeria wants to join, but I'm not sure Nigeria will be allowed at this summit.
Is Nigeria represented in this summit?
Oh no, it's
No.
a summit for BRIC members. Nigeria is not represented. Nigeria is not invited yet. But we'll see how it goes with that. I'm more concerned about Nigeria presenting its Nigeria about going to war with Niger on the behest of it doesn't really seem like the right time to talk about that. But let's talk about some of the updates. Within BRICS, the Uganda High Commission says Africa has a real voice, which it has long been deprived of. That's Ugandan High Commissioner. British President Louis da Silva and BRICS Youth Development Bank Chief Dilma arrived in South Africa. South Africa Bank backs expansion of BRICS membership. What else? Russian president is represented by the foreign minister Sergei Lavrov, who has arrived in South Africa. What else? South African President Ramaphosa received the Chinese president Xi in Pretoria as part of the Brics Summit. And what else? The chairman of SADRC Chamber of Commerce says that all country really needs the DRC. We're talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo. President Putin made an opening statement, yes, which is well public at this point. Economic contribution of BRICS states is significant for global economy. That was said by Juan Kele Mene. BRICS establishment a testimony to the realization of Africa's development. That was said by Mikatekiso Kubaya. BRICS country discussing common currency to shake dollar dominance. That was said by the Russian finance minister. And of course, the Saudi foreign minister has already arrived Johannesburg for the BRICS summit. President Putin will also inform BRICS participants about the priorities for Russian presidency in 2024. So there are lots of updates.
Okay, let's hear some analysis on this one. Sir George in Canada, is your government jittery or sensitive, or what are your own views on this?
Well, I mean, we're coming to the time in our world today where, like what Dr. Ibe was saying, multipolarity and the possibility of, one nation dominating others and controlling things their own way might not be the most acceptable way of living these days. So what we're seeing is actually basically because of what I call a political contest or war dominance contest between Russia and United States of America. This is coming to the point where it's a level ground for everybody to participate, and the reason being that the countries that were dominating before, and some countries are waking up and saying, thus far no further. We cannot be allowed to be dominated anymore by these countries where we have choices. So it's good that we have choices, but also we have to be very careful because the countries that are leading this particular pack right now don't have that much good, what I call good history behind them. So that's why it is. And Dr. Ibe was saying that Nigeria wants to join. I don't know where he got that from. There has never been anybody that came out to say that Nigeria wants to join.
There has. But I'll quote it later.
Who says so?
Okay. First of all,
somebody else.
Yeah, government official. Yes, of course. That's the ambassador of Russia ambassador of Nigeria to the Russian Federation. He made it very clear that Nigeria wants to be part of BRICS.
Okay, it will have become.
This was coming from the government in Nigeria or from his own personal opinion, because I haven't had any.
He's a government official, of course. He's a government official. Yeah. So.
Well, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is that most times people make statements based on fear or based on the status quo within the where they are. What in the world is going on?
Okay, thank you, George.
Okay.
BD, why is your country not interested
the reason why
in
I'm saying
Russian
that.
to join?
Besides the point, I think it's a. Go ahead.
I was just asking Bidi. Nigeria doesn't appear to want to rush. Is it a kind of political decision within the political leadership, or Nigeria does not have the wherewithal? We still lean towards capitalism. We lean towards the West. We all most of our leaders are elected from the West before the stories of manipulation within. So is that the reason why we don't want to join, or we simply don't qualify by the standard of the BRICS?
Why they've not joined? I wouldn't say they. I wouldn't use the word they don't want to join. Why they've not joined? It's obvious. What is the intention of BRICS is to rescue power from the United States. Do you understand? And Nigeria, you should understand the relationship between Nigeria and the United States of America and Britain. And these people are not part of BRICS. And these are the people, if you look at it, the BRICS is trying to unseat. So Nigeria jumping into BRICS member might not be that easy. Yeah, I read when the ambassador to Russia made that statement. But me, I think that statement is coming from the side of political statement. What do you expect him to say? He's a Nigerian ambassador in Russia. He should say something to his master, at least to soften his stay in Russia. Nigeria have not joined. It's just one thing. This
Yeah,
BRICS is against America and
maybe we
against
don't even
Britain.
qualify.
No, I disagree to that. We qualify. What is it? We have what they are looking for. The Russia, the China, their all eye has been in Nigeria. It's just this thing I told you. Our masters, the Britain and the America, they have a very good relationship with Nigeria. So Nigerian jumping into BRICS just like that might not be easy. Even if they want to join, it might be difficult for them to come up with
Okay.
that decision. Secondly,
Okay,
look at what is happening
we'll leave it
in
at that
Niger.
until next
Look at
week
what is
or
happening
Friday when they might have finished their meeting. But I just want to ask Dr. Ibi, do we have what it takes to join them or not? Unmute yourself, please.
As a potential, yes. As a strategy, no. Because as you quite understand, one of the criteria is I've mentioned the criteria, the
Yeah.
priorities for BRICS, and Nigeria don't seem to be going there along. You know, in geopolitics, there's nobody who doesn't want to be part of it. It's a flat out lie. Like in geopolitics, it's always better to be inside the room than outside. There's nobody who wants to be outside the room, so it's never happened. So I believe that Nigeria wants to join, but when they see the right signals, then they will publicly declare it. When they see acceptance signals, they'll publicly declare it.
Okay. We will not flog it today. There will be occasions to flog it. We have from Milan, our man Mark joining now. Mark, are you okay now? Unmute yourself.
We can't hear you.
Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
So how are you doing now?
Oh, so I'm sorry for all this. This is what happens when you have our weather condition very, very hot. We are melting here in south.
Global warming.
Yeah, this is it's real serious. So gadgets.
I have experienced it. Honestly, I have experienced it.
Yes,
my
gadgets,
telephone
machines.
just collapsed and says
yes, encoding machines and everything we use for work is not running smooth. So we're praying that the August season we come over it and get into September. Now let's talk about it. Let me give a little about the BRICS thing. Yes, Dr. Sir George, Nigeria has expressed interest to join, and that is because, like Dr. Ibe said, you don't want to be left out in any geopolitical arrangement going on. Nigeria fits in. Nigeria is actually, in fact, that we are expressing to join at this point in time shows we really don't understand this how things run. Nigeria should have been in the initial founding members of the BRICS, but sadly we didn't. We couldn't make the cuts. But we've expressed our interest to join, and they are looking seriously into Nigeria more. There are other countries there. There are Iran, Belarus, Saudi Arabia, and other countries. But Nigeria is a focal member if it joins, because take note of how we stand in Africa. So the BRICS going on in South Africa now, and a lot of events are happening. And to be honest with you, the BRICS seems to be a new organization that might take over every other geopolitical organization in the world, because it has key members, and they have an arrangement that's really interesting. That arrangement is people are not coerced, people are not forced into getting into any business or whatever it is. Rather, they are there to help each other, and that's what the world is looking for now. We're tired of these organizations that just impose themselves on people and compel people to do things that are not humanly possible.
The resources of weaker countries.
Siphon the resources, Dr. Segun. Thank you very much, Dr. Segun. Thank you, George. Thank you.
Yeah. Everything you have said, we will just take it with a pinch of salt. Not that we're going.
Yeah, let's take note of a viewer from Kathmandu. A viewer from Kathmandu, Nepal, is saying, yeah, he's greeting us from Kathmandu.
Okay.
Govinda route.
Hi from Kathmandu. But Massive Mark, you've been following the story of the former Minister on Petroleum, Mrs. Alison-Madueke. She has been charged with bribery, as simple as that, bribery in a London court.
Yes.
And they are going to court on the 2nd of October. Please tell us more.
Yes, a very strange thing there, Dr. Segun. But first of all, we're looking at why is UK taking the charge? Why is the UK taking this charge on her? Yes, former Petroleum Minister Tanzania Alison-Madueke, 62-year-old Nigerian woman, abused her power as a Nigerian minister. The allegation is that she abused her power and she accepted financial rewards. She forwarded also some bogus $1 million contracts. And the British police is saying yesterday they came out and said they are charging her for bribery offenses. Now, take note also that she's been living in the UK for some time now. She lives there in London, West London, and she's now expected to be in court by October the 2nd. October the 2nd, 2023, Madueke Alison will be in court to answer charges of bribery. Remember also that as she served during Jonathan Goodluck's tenure, there were so many underlying activities going on that did not have any record on. So what these British people have done is they've gone on the ground to get some, to do some investigation. They called it complex international investigation. Complex international investigation. An organization called the NCA is the head of that organization, and they did a lot of underground check on the woman, and they found out that she did so many ills, so many, Dr. Segun. About 100 million pounds in cash.
Thank you for that presentation. Let's hear from our other colleagues. I'm so happy that you have presented it well. From Toronto, Sir George, why did they leave it so long? 8 years through Buhari.
That's my question. That is my question. Why now? When you have known all these things for many, many years, you never brought it up. You never said anything. You have frozen her accounts. I am not in support of her. I think she should bring back our money. Everything that she stole must be moved back to Nigeria. But why is Britain now coming after her after many years? All the through Buhari tenure, nothing happened. Even Buhari, who is the master, supposed to be the pseudo master of corruption fighter, They left it all through until right now, and they're going after her. I believe there is some insidious strategy that UK is taking. They want to take that money because they have frozen that account. So there is a reason why they're going after her right now when they have left it for 8 years and never said anything. All of a sudden, they're coming up with all these things. They've known this for many years. Who bribed her? How come they did not know about it from the very beginning? Who benefited from all those things that happened to her? So anyway, sometimes countries are doing certain things they're doing, but the underlying factors behind it might not be well known. But I believe there's something.
I don't think we're fools anymore. We are not fools anymore. We too we need to challenge some things. BD, in Nigeria, is this taking a front page place, or we are just the only ones shouting diaspora?
It's the main story in Nigeria since 2 days now. It's the main story. Everybody, the woman has the way of pulling attention. It's what all the media houses are talking about, what everyone is talking about, all the social media is talking about. Like a Massive Mark said. Now, I want to ask, why the British, why are they charging her? Is it their duty to charge her? That's my question. And now, second, even if they should charge her, do you know when this thing happened? That was in Jonathan regime, and Buhari has ruled us for 8 years and left. So there's something behind this thing that is just coming up now. When Nigerians were shouting that this woman took their money, all the newspaper, everything, what did they do? They kept mute. They did not do anything. All during Buhari period, they kept mute. Why now? It means there's something we don't know about these charges in the UK government. It's not in their place to charge her. If they should charge her, of course she should be charged, and she has been charged. It is the duty of Nigeria. Remember, we are a sovereign country. Now, talking about this, we have a lot of Nigerians who have stolen the money of Nigerians, have houses in. Why haven't not charged those ones? Just about a few months ago, it came up that Tinubu's son bought a house that was in dispute. What did they do? They turned a deaf eye and deaf ear to that story. They didn't say anything till now, which means this thing, there's something like I call a witch hunting. Yes.
Maybe they call it selective justice. They select who they want to have justice. Selective justice.
Not even selective justice. No. I think it's witch hunting, not even selective. This is witch hunting.
Well,
Nigerian government.
Why are they witch hunting her?
Why now? Is it now she
why
committed
will
that
they
crime?
witch hunt?
Now, excuse me, is it now she committed? When Nigerians were shouting, going, why didn't they send her back? Why didn't they stand up? Why now? That's what I'm asking.
Okay,
yes.
Dr. Ibe.
But they have all these billions lodged in their account, they can be using to do loans and everything and make massive profit out of it. What would you want them to send her back? What will happen to the money now?
Dr.
The money
Ibe,
will go back to Nigeria.
Why does the Nigerian government disgrace itself? We couldn't prosecute Ibori. They had to prosecute him for us. We couldn't prosecute Alame Siga. He had to escape from the prison. Why is it that we don't see that Dizani has stolen us dry, has stolen us blind, and yet she finished with Jonathan? Nobody raised any eyebrow. Not until the Buhari regime came that everybody started saying she stole. Why do we disgrace ourselves from outside? Unmute yourself.
It's all part of the theatrics, all part of the performance. I wonder, like, so when you steal money, when someone steals money, you don't it's so large that those money are so large that they're not, you can't, like, even if you can't even hide it in a briefcase. And most of these transactions are made through Swift, which the US and the Western intelligence monitor, at the very cellular level, atomic level, they monitor, So when you see billions, trillions moving out, there's no way that the West don't know about it. And you should understand that when a money that is stolen, even if it's returned back after 5 years, it has a value, it's lost or gained within that period of time. Even if you put it in fixed deposit and put it for 10 years and then you return it back, say, oh, I didn't know. I'm just they've made 10 years, made 10 years of profit on top and return your money back. It's just like when you want to get citizenship or permanent residence with all these green card or golden visas. They take your money within 500,000 or whatever they take these days. They keep it for 5 years, make use of it in the economy. Yes, and return it back to you. Isn't it so? So this stolen money, the only thing is that this stolen money, they don't give green card with it. They don't give visa with it. Nothing they give. They just use it. And then when it becomes too noisy, it becomes in the public, they begin to, what can we do? How can we correct the damage? The optics is not so good. And then they return bits and pieces. And the bits and pieces they return is the one they tell you. You don't know the one they did not tell you. The one they did not tell you will just quietly, that's it. So all these things are all part of the performance. There's no this real sincere desire from the West to stop money laundering. There's no real desire.
The way you put it, no.
And also the contract that is usually signed. How many of those contracts go to China or go to Russia? We know predominantly they're either Dubai or the Western companies. So you understand that there's no way they don't know. Both the person doing the deal, you understand that any critical deal that's made by a company is part of national interest. So the foreign ministries are aware, and definitely diplomatic channels are open, and the presidency is aware. So there's no big deal that is not in the government is not involved in. So it's all part of that.
I mean, the one you said on they will just return your money without an interest is interesting. So you take your money. For instance, Abacha stole $5.1 billion. They have returned about 3/4 of that, but without any interest. So how about the interest on that money? I never saw it that way.
There. It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud. Well, we'll go on a short break. When we return, to war or not to war, that is the question. What's the position of African Union? What's the position of the Northerners in Nigeria right now? And what's the position of the team that has been sent to Niger? We'll be bringing you all of them in a minute. Don't go away.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy. Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better. The Inside Story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Alright. This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in south-south Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
Thanks for staying with us. Still the news echoes on Nigerian affairs. There is a summit coming up, and many of you have been asking us, how do we give money internationally to the BD's World Account? BD, you just want to tell us this procedure of how to give money into this business summit that is coming up?
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several.
We understand Dr. Sita will be joining us very soon, but of course you can attend the university. Yes, BD, I was asking you, how do we give into the international account?
It's easy for you to donate for this cause, because we truly need you to be part of this, not just for this world, but for these physically challenged people, for us to help them get a better life through their business. They have actually tried, but we need to help them. You can donate in dollar, you can donate in pounds, you can donate in euro. It makes it easier for you to donate from the comfort of your home offices. You can use our SWIFT code or the sort code in a GTB. Then if you want to donate to Naira, it's our Access Bank account. So it's easy. Just click on that link. It takes you to the portal, and you see everything was well explained there. If you want to put into Naira, it's there. If you want to put into dollar, euro, pounds, it's easier. Whichever one you want to do, the foreign currency, is either you use the SWIFT code or you use the sort code. It is well explained there. Thank you, because we really need you to be part of this. We are actually soliciting for your help and for your support. Nothing is small, and whatever thing you give, it will go a long way in putting smiles in a lot of homes. Please join us to make this a success. Thank you very much
madam.
In advance, because
well
I know
said.
you want to donate.
Well said. We wish you the best on the September 22nd summit. To war or not to war, that is the question. Well, we have reports that the African Union has said categorically they were not in favor of the Coup, and that Niger has been suspended from the Union until until democracy is installed. I think before my colleagues join, the debate is now not to return Bazoum, but to return constitutional order. Some people are even saying, look, it's not about democracy. I think many analysts are tired of the word democracy now, because democracy means different things to different people. It means a different thing in America, and it means a different thing for Americans looking at outside countries. So people are no longer interested in using the word democracy. They want Niger return to constitutional reforms. That's what they're saying now. And the African Union is not going to war. And the African Union has said all non-African countries should hands off. The West, the East, hands off the Niger. And they said they will support ECOWAS. What that means is not apparent, because African Union itself is not going to war. But they said they are supporting ECOWAS in all of its ways. The Abdulsalam-led committee has returned to Niger, and they came back to say that diplomacy is the only way, and that they are not in support of war, and that there are fruits, they call it, that there are fruits from their talks. Whatever fruit it will be, I don't think Bazoum is coming back, but there could be a reinstallation of constitutional matters. That's exactly what the leader said. Chiani said they're going to have an election in 3 years' time. That's what he said. Mark, I know you've been following this. You want to tell us more? Unmute yourself, please. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Okay, while we're trying to, have you managed to unmute yourself?
No.
Okay, George, take it up from there.
You know, one of the things that is very interesting, African Union comes out and say, oh, we are, telling them they're not going to belong there anymore. We fired them from our membership. These people are not interested in that. And the question has always been, no, they're not interested. The question has always been, why did the coup take place in the first, in first instance? Okay, these people have uranium. France has been using uranium to power their country. Up to 80% of their country is being powered by uranium that they get from Niger Republic. While Niger Republic is dependent on Nigeria from the Kainda Jam to get their own electricity. Why did not France from the very beginning build, try to introduce uranium-powered facilities,
electricity
in Niger? The point about it, all of this is so hypocrisy on every side of this whole equation. Honestly speaking, nobody's talking about the populace. Nobody's talking about the sufferings of these people, whether democracy or constitutional government, it doesn't even matter. They don't care about all that. All they want to do is that name called democracy. 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 That's all they're crying about. What is democracy when the government is not working? What is democracy when people are suffering? What is democracy? Look at what Nigeria did. ECOWAS now, all of a sudden, we turn down their lights. Many people are dying in the hospitals. The food that were and the medicine being sent to that country, they wouldn't allow it to go there for the benefit of the people. And you're talking about democracy? That's nonsense. That's democracy. When you really talk about it, they need to start thinking about the population, the people that are dying. The food that is being transported from many countries into Niger Republic, they are spoiling. People are losing money. People are dying of hunger. And you're talking about democracy. What are we talking about here? And then all of a sudden, African Union said, oh, they're not going to be our member. They don't give a care about all that. Because before you know it now, Prigozhin is going to come in. And that's another situation that you're talking about. There has been signs of, planes, bringing some people in or around the countries. Chad is sending, troops into the land. So if they're attempting a war, it's going to be hell in West Africa. So they better watch out what they're doing and think about the people. That's my own interest.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ibe, democracy doesn't bring food on its own. It is what you do with democracy that makes life easy. Membership of AU does not bring food on its own. It is a corporation. So what is African Union really saying?
Well, alluding to what Sir George said, democracy, what is it? Government of the people, by the people, for the people. And the idea of democracy is that the country is sovereign and the power is in the hand of the sovereign, and the sovereign is the people. Where the people don't matter and they are just statistics, then obviously you have broken the foundation of democracy, because the sovereign doesn't lie with the people. So it's no more democracy. Now, I would like to point to you some very important things in this affair. Number one, African Union can say anything they want, but action speaks louder than words. Same with ECOWAS, same in Nigeria. They tried an action, helicopter flew into Niger, and it was immediately shut down. They didn't no, there was no calls made, no consultation, diplomatic channel. They just brought it down with advanced anti-aircraft, ammunition.
Technology.
Yes, so they don't produce that. It's clear who supplied them that. That's
Who
not
is
the
that?
first aspect.
Leave that one alone.
It's an advanced nation that can produce such. So you can figure that out.
Sir George.
Number two.
Go on, Dr. Ibe.
Number two. I would like to bring to your notice that we have been speaking about uranium, but uranium is France's problem. If it was just uranium, US would not be so involved in this. There's a pipeline, when Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 were blown up and they were jubilating. The reason for jubilation was because an alternate backyard deal was being made from Nigeria to pass oil through Niger Republic.
Yeah.
And that pipeline is in US's interest.
Algeria.
Also, yes, through Algeria as well. And US also has drone bases. I think the largest in Africa. It was the largest in Africa. But now they're evacuating those drones. So those are the main US interests, and then the main France's interest. So together they have, a common motivation to really fight this out. And so you can see the motivation behind the war. Now about our commander-in-chief in Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, we understand that the EU said the election was conducted with a malpractice or what, and then the US said it's a model of democracy. Yes, so we already have some hints on so there's the need to legitimization of the tenor exists. So let me move to the next one. Also, before the sanctions were placed by African Union, the United Nations have already declared that there was famine, food and medicine scarcity in the country. And then Nigeria helped by turning off the light, to allowing food to spoil and people really, really suffering. Now, the last but not the least, the geopolitical powers involved is not only China, US, and Western interests as a whole. We also have Russia and China. China has landed supplies just recently to one of the countries. I think it was Guinea, or so it's a Guinea or country like that, in towards the eastern part of Eastern Africa. So Western Africa rather. So we have clear involvement of geopolitical powers. It's not just China now only talking about loans and credit and economic interest. We have vested interest in the military outcome of this. So it's something that Nigeria needs to wake up of their megalomania and tread very carefully.
Yeah, Bidi, it appears that democracy is being redefined by America. In America, democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people, so to speak. But in developing countries, it appears America is defining democracy as government that does the will of the people of America. That's how it appears. If they do the will of America, then that's democracy, whether it is military or not. It appears that's the only way now. Is that why we're having this problem in Niger?
Of course, that's why we're having the definition of democracy in Africa is the government of selected few to aid the interests of their American and their past colonial masters. That's just the definition of it. Now, what I want to say is this: African Union, ECOWAS, they should be careful. The thing is that what I've seen in what is happening in Africa now is that these people just stand up and they speak. They don't analyze what they're saying. They don't weigh the immediate effects and the long-term effect. They just stand up and they talk. The African Union have said they suspended Niger. Now, ECOWAS said that the next thing is to use force. If they exhaust all the tactics, that the next thing is to use force. What African bodies are doing is to weaken their relevancy in Africa. And they are giving China and Russia more power, drawing them closer. That's just what they are doing. And they should be careful. I'm telling you. Because the thing, like Massive Max said, I'm so surprised that you call yourself African Union, you call yourself ECOWAS. Your interest should be to protect the interests of Africans, to protect the interests of Nigerians. But none of you are even showing interest in the lives of those people. What you people are interested in is to restore power and keep doing your bid. Now, my question is this: doing your bid for who? For you and for your colonial masters. That's too bad. Let them continue. But like I said, they are making themselves look irrelevant in Africa. Watch how it's going to play out. And they are drawing Russia and China more closer to get more involved in Niger and Africa as a whole. That's just what I see
from one power to the other. Massive Mark, we hope you can talk. Very good. We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
The African Union is a governmental structure. And like all my colleagues here have said, nobody is talking about the Nigerians themselves. Look at Nigeria. It has stopped electricity, has stopped food from going there. And they're not punishing the leaders. They're punishing the Nigerians. And I'm shocked that the Nigerian government can do that. Really, really shocked. Is that the way to go?
That's not the way to go, Dr. Shegun. Dr. Shegun, let's go back to African Union. Take note that this present-day African Union organization was reconstituted in 2003 the year 2003 by then Muammar Gaddafi. Now, what we had before was OAU, which was inaugurated in the 60s, late 60s. But that was disbanded because they didn't live up to what their aims and objective at that point in time. The OAU was initially arranged by the then President Nkrumah of Ghana and some old nationalists back then. So now where I'm going at is AU is not helping issues. They set up this AU, this present African Union, to help the African countries, developing African countries. And like George said, and everybody have said here, Africa is in deep mire. Africa is in deep squalor, poverty, and suffering. And these so-called organizations that should be a source of alleviating the life of the African people are the ones now making it hard for them again. So you wonder why they will inaugurate these organizations and they don't live up to what they are supposed to do. So AU said everybody should cut off from Niger. Everybody will not have dealings with Niger. Now that's not the way to go. That's a country. That's a country that wants a life for their people, for their self, and they want a life that the West doesn't seem to want them to have. So why can't AU, so-called AU, stand up and say, listen, this is our people. These are our people. We see what they are going through, and bring a new kind of arrangement and negotiation on the table instead of abruptly cutting them off their means of survival. You're all talking of the light, electricity going off. As of this morning, checking the news, there's strong sickness in diseases and sickness in Niger. Little kids are now dying out of no health facility, no food, no water, no clean water, and all these things we don't want in Africa again. So, Dr. Shegun, it's a sad thing. Yes, Abdulsalami, the man that was sent to negotiate with the junta in Niger, he's back and he said, nobody wants war. the talk was fruitful. But those things are empty words, because just after his arrival, AU now gave their own sanction. Other people are coming in, but let's see how these BRIC nations will come to the aid of the Nigerians.
Sorry, can I add something very quickly? Sorry, I want to add two things. The first one is that the most of the deaths are actually coming from patients dying in the hospital because the electricity was turned off.
That's what they said. That's it this morning. Yes, that's it this morning.
It's very unfortunate.
Secondly, the logistics is being negotiated. Russian military arrived, I think, Liberia. The battle, the war, if it eventually comes, to be a battle of logistics, because everyone are now setting up logistics supply of weapons to Niger Republic.
Now, Sir George, ECOWAS will lose its relevance if there should be war, because for the first time, Nigerians' importance in West Africa will be reduced if it is to be intervening in government. And many countries within West Africa may say, look, I don't want to be part of ECOWAS again, because they're not banned to be part of ECOWAS. So that if ECOWAS is going to be telling us what to do, then we don't want to be. Just like the International Court of International Crime Court, you don't have to be a member. United States is not a member. And African Union too may lose membership from this and say, okay, we are not part of AU anymore, because if we are part of you and we have challenges in our country, instead of you to help us solve you are helping us to expand it. In fact, bringing your own position on us. Is that not a likelihood, Sir George?
Well, you see, what BRICS came up because of what?
Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention. And if ECOWAS continue to do this, you're going to see a break from some of these West African countries. They will form now something like BRICS that will compete with ECOWAS. I'm telling you, it's going to happen if they're not careful. And that's where we're heading right now. Because you already see some of these other countries that belong to ECOWAS, they're sending troops to Niger, ground troops to Niger. What does that tell you? They are already in conflict with the decision being made by ECOWAS leaders. So they say, so before you know it, it is going to happen if they are not careful, if they are not already, making that decision, to take place as we speak, because we know that there is no reason for them to go to war. Number one, we have seen the pictures and the video of this, the oust president of Niger. He's in good health. All that nonsense they've been talking about, he's dying, he's eating dry rice, chewing bread of hardship. It's not true. What we saw there when he was working with Abdulsalami, he was healthy. So, and then these people are talking about, they're calling for the people, political parties to submit their, submit their forms, for election. They're saying 3 years. The best ECOWAS can do now is to say, okay, instead of 3 years, we give you 2 years to reform the government and bring it to constitutional, rather than talking about this nonsense. They already know they're losing relevance, number one, and they are losing the influence of these international countries trying to use their puppets in Africa, in West Africa, to do their bidding. So the best to do is to think about the people of Niger and begin to bring out, new regulations and things. Stop this nonsense about, restriction of food and the light to this country, because you know what's going to happen? These people now will turn around and build their own dam, and if they build their dam, Nigeria is in serious trouble.
They've started building their dam, actually.
Watch and see what's going to happen then. If they do that, we're in trouble.
Big trouble.
It may be the end of African Union as we know it. Because the League of Nations, that was the international organization that preceded the United Nations, died because the United States of America refused to be part of it. It couldn't contain the Second World War. And so is this the beginning of the end if AU can see far, Bidi, quickly?
Of course, now that's becoming their end. And this particular thing, look, let me tell you, people, they are not careful. This is going to divide Africa more than we are even divided now. Of course, it's going to end them. except they make a U-turn now and do things
Dr.
rightly.
Ibe as well. Africa itself is divided within. We have the Arab Africa. They don't even see themselves as the sub-Saharan Africa. So if certain countries like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, all of them now coagulate and say, look, we are forming our own association, is that not the end of AU?
It's the end on many fronts. First of all, sorry, just a point of correction. When I said Liberia and as a logistic hub, I meant Libya, not Liberia. But the Liberian president has come out and said that we dare not condemn military coup if we do not condemn institutional coups, which in the name of democracy. So he's alluding to the Western control
Thank
of
you
the
for
government.
the correction.
Now, if they say dam, if they erect their own dam, NEPA will seize light, but not in our homes, in the headquarters. Because the dam, if you understand the construction of dam and how river flows, yes, so there will be seizure of light at the NEPA headquarters, and also, they will lose relevance basically because there will be alternate, especially the Arab-speaking countries, from the east to the West Africa.
Mark.
We can't hear you. Mm-hmm. Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So I didn't hear the question, Dr. Shagun.
Dr. Shagun is muted.
Oh my God! Somebody mute me again.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, continue. Dr. Shagun, continue.
Okay, so well, that's about all we can do today. We're sure to do better on the technology next week. We pray that there is no war, and we pray that their eyes could open in Abuja to see the danger to the existence of ECOWAS and indeed the AU. Until next week, God bless you all. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
We have this real challenge.
Yeah, this mute and unmute thing.
Yeah. Is it?
Mark, I hope we did fairly well today. On last Saturday, I interviewed this ex-president of United Nations Human Rights Council. And I don't know if you guys saw the video by any chance.
No, I need to see that video too. Yeah. How was it?
It was good. We had lots of viewers. By the way, I had a new record. We are not allowed to do promotions from Russia and Facebook and other things because of the sanctions.
Wow.
All the same, due to organic reach, I was able to reach 2.3 million people last month. And on the 24th of July, I have set a daily record of reaching 666,000 people in a day.
Wow.
666.
Yeah, 666. Yeah.
Are you one day? Christ?
Yeah. God forbid. I looked at the figure, I was like 666.
That's a lot of money. If you have been in the Western world.
Yeah, and also on Twitter, I have very little followership on Twitter. Actually, well, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with one small step. But I found out that the impression I reached on Twitter was 750,000 people in 1 month.
Wow.
So a lot of
Very
people, I
little.
don't know, some people are not. Eh? Yeah, I mean the followership is little, but I hope more people who are watching the
I'm just
page
joking.
eventually
750,000 is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's almost that's 3/4 of a million.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a month. Yeah, I was surprised, but positively surprised. I hope it continues if they do not use the algorithm.
But how can you circumvent that to start making money? Or are you not able to make money right now from that? Because if you
No, not really. The thing is, I haven't put it as a priority for two reasons. Because the first one is to influence my views. I want to have full control over my creator views, and secondly, I don't like this like one. I don't like to plan on one offshoots. I want to watch it for a while, and see how over like I understand that in the last 4-5 months I've reached like 5 million people. Wow. But I want to see how it will be over a year, and then I'll put more effort in contacting sponsorship deals and all of that. But for now, I just want to just freely speak my mind, and yeah.
Beautiful.
I think that's where I am. I can freely speak my mind. That's where I am. Nothing controls me. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, because there are certain things you will say when they start paying you, they control what you say and how you say it. Yeah. So how did we do it today, though?
Mark has left. I think Mark will send it in the group.
Yes.
Yeah, he will send it in the group. Enjoy your meal. In Russian, we say "Priятного аппетита."
Bon appetita. Thank you very much. I'm going to meal for my breakfast.
Priятного аппetita. Yes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I think my next trip will be to Russia.
Yeah, you should go. You should go.
Let me come and eat with Dr. Ibe.
Yes, sir. You should go. I can see you have to run now. Take care.
Bye.